What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about the huge updates in regards to DMZ Season 4, a new inventory wipe, and some more teasers. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and also let me know in the comment section, how many faction missions have you guys completed over in DMZ? Did you guys finish all of them before the reset in Season 2, or are you guys still lagging a bit behind, or do you maybe not care that much about the missions considering how often the missions themselves do get reset, or did you guys end up grinding out as many missions as possible to get those insurance slots for your loadouts? Let me know how you're feeling down below. Now, as a Call of Duty player, I'm always looking for the next adrenaline rush, and the perfect game for those short, intense battles is a game called Tacticool. There's over 80 plus weapons and operators to choose from, as well as online communication features. The fast-paced action is what made me fall in love with shooters in the first place, and you can play modes like Capture the Flag, Control, TDM, Battle Royale, and even a zombie survival mode, plus even more. Over 20 million folks around the world have built a strong community inside of Tacticool, and communication is becoming more and more of a priority in newer games lately, and Tacticool really rewards players for their teamwork and environmental awareness. I was also a huge fan of destructible environments back during Call of Duty Ghost, and I'm happy to see them return here inside of Tacticool. From my experience though, I really enjoyed the intuitive UI and fluent gameplay mechanics, which are sometimes hard to come across in other shooters these days. Leveling up and improving skills in Tacticool are a must, as you'll feel the absolute advantage for putting in that extra work, but joining a clan can also help you find like-minded folks who also want to take part in fast-paced action that they can't find elsewhere. Now you can download Tacticool with a special link down below in this video's description to experience a variety of weapons, environments, and operators. Also, don't forget to join a clan to progress even faster in the game. There's also an exclusive bonus operator for new players named Jason, who has an RPG and will give you 50,000 silver. You can get that by using the promo code TACTIL. But thank you to Tacticool for sponsoring tonight's video. But as of today, Call of Duty themselves did randomly confirm that there are many exciting additions coming to DMZ in Season 4. They mentioned that updates will include a refresh and reset like that of Season 2 in order to make room for new mission sets and the new upgrade Redacted. Faction mission progress will be reset in lieu of the new ability to earn Faction Classified. I'm gonna guess that means Faction Reputation, and I'll be talking more about that later in this video. They then said contraband, key, and mission inventories will be emptied, and sure weapon slots will be reset as we introduce new ways to unlock them. Earn rewards such as blueprints, skins, and calling cards will not be affected, however. Stay tuned for all the info on Season 4 of DMZ in an upcoming blog post. So we're gonna all assume that a week from today, on June 7th, we'll end up getting a full blog post breaking down everything coming in Season 4, and a couple days after that, we'll get a tactical overview of specifics in terms of Warzone, DMZ, even some multiplayer. And usually we'll get a blog post about a new season an exact week before the season is about to start, so if the season is set to begin on June 14th, then once again, June 7th should be when we get some major marketing. But if you look at what the community's been saying, we do have Killer Stidge saying that he wouldn't be surprised if for Season 4 of DMZ, insured weapon slots get locked behind something like the new Koshai Complex or Building 21 Shopkeeper's Barter Station instead of under faction mission progression. And that's the thing, right? If you want to have missions that get reset every so often, I'm actually okay with that, but when it comes to tying that to the insured weapon slot system, it does get a bit redundant when you're like, alright, it took me a while to finish all my faction missions, I finally unlocked those insured slots just to be reset a season and a half later. People out there aren't really a fan of that, but if you want to reset mission progress every other season because of what's going on in the story or for whatever other reason, but you keep that separate from how you get insured weapon slots, I think that's a really good balance as they're going to be introducing us to here in Season 4. But when it comes to resets in general, I think it makes sense to reset our inventories, our weapons, whatever the case is, right before we're about to get a big expansion or a new feature, even a new map. I feel like that's fair, but I've always had the opinion that keeping faction mission progress the same is probably the best bet. But I guess instead of them doing a tier 6 for all of the factions, they're just gonna reset everybody back to square one and introduce us to 5 new tiers for each of the factions or something like that. And then those new tiers will of course offer new opportunities for knowledge of the story and will offer some new rewards. There'll still be a lot to cover when it comes to the missions in Season 4. Now I'd be curious to see though if we end up getting some difficult tasks inside of the barter station similar to unlocking that really rare gun screen, but instead of getting a cosmetic, you get an insured weapon slot. That's totally a possibility, but as other folks also pointed out on Twitter today, it also wouldn't shock many people if with this DMZ reset, you start seeing bundles that get sold featuring inserted weapon slots and super fast cool times. I wouldn't be shocked about that whatsoever either, and I think if they end up doing that, people are going to be a bit upset. I think if anything, you could almost defend spawning in with a medium backpack, a UAV, even a gas mask, something simple like that, but it's a lot harder to defend things like spawning in with tempered vest or 3-plate vest chest if those things ever get added to bundles, but with insured weapon slots, that is an even bigger advantage than any UAV or a self-revive or even a 2-plate vest. That's going to be wild to see, but again, would not be shocked to see something like that introduced to DMZ, considering how successful the previous DMZ bundles probably were, since they did feature characters like Rose, Classic Ghost. Those bundles probably sold well, which probably tells Activision, hey, let's sell more bundles like this with DMZ benefits. Now, something else that I'll be talking more about in a separate video coming out in a couple of hours in regards to Vondel, our new Warzone map coming in Season 4, is the fact that DMZ support might actually be delayed for that map, which I'm totally cool with. I think if the season starts off with the new Warzone map and it only offers Resurgence or BR, even Ground War, but you save the DMZ support for Season 4 Reloaded or even Season 5, I think that's fine. I mean, Koshai Complex just came out with the mid-Season 3 update, and it had some incredible DMZ support. It's also not a map that's offered in regular Warzone 2, same with Building 21, but I think it's a little too soon to see yet another new map for DMZ. I think there's going to be enough content day 1 on Season 4 that I'll happily wait another 3+ weeks before DMZ support gets added to Vondel, and I'm totally cool with that. We have other leakers out there claiming that there's multiple versions of Vondel coming at some point to Warzone 2. You have a regular daytime version, we even have a nighttime version, and some other alternative that might be for Ground War. It's unclear, but maybe there's a possibility to do something that I've been suggesting for a while, which is release one version of the map for BR exclusively, or Resurgence in that case. You then have a night version or a version with dynamic weather for DMZ, and then you have maybe an even other alternative version with cut portions that'll fit for Ground War multiplayer. I think that's probably what they're going to do with Vondel in Season 4, but I'll keep you guys posted about that map, and we'll talk more about that map in a separate video. But a couple days ago, we also had some really interesting reports coming out from the usual suspects, which I'm going to warn you guys right now, this information does contain some story spoilers for those out there invested in the DMZ narrative. This person did go ahead and say over on Twitter that DMZ Black Mouse intel is the following. Building 21 is owned by Crown and is the source of the gas, as we see in Battle Royale. Laswell wants to partner with Black Mouse. Laswell also wants the SpecNaz documents from the bio bunker delivered to a certain location. Shadow Company leadership is then prepping a boat to leave Ashika ASAP, which is going to spice things up quite a bit. And then for the ex-Legion leader, the Black Mouse leader and Laswell have a dialogue. Crown is actually the Coney PMC. The final part of the puzzle is locked in the bio bunker. White Lotus is planning an alliance with the Shadow Company, and Crown is actually Coney all along. The final piece of that puzzle is again locked away in that bio bunker in case you guys did miss it in your matches. But aside from those story details, like I've been saying in other videos and even some shorts, DMZ is about to change forever. And I think with the reputation system that has been rumored for quite some time, that's something that perfectly fits as a Season 4 update, since it looks like every other season we're getting a brand new map inside of DMZ or something along those lines. I mean, we got DMZ in November, and a couple weeks later we got Building 21 already, which was wild. So it looks like every other season we're getting a new map, maybe even sooner, but those updates in between are opportunities for expansions, overhauls, new features, mechanics, setting the foundation for what could be multiple years of support from DMZ, what could even influence how Outbreak 2.0 works in the next Black Ops game. Totally on board with all of that. And like we talked about in previous videos, there will apparently be a faction reputation system, which comes with quite a few features for all DMZ exclusion zones. So this was leaked out back during Season 2 Reloaded. This was in the files for a while, and it's something that has just never been added into the game until what looks like right now, Season 4. So there's going to be barter contracts allowing you to build reputation with each faction, building that strong allegiance and that trust system. There will even be exclusive faction buy stations, which rewards vary on your reputation with the faction. So maybe a high reward for having an allegiance with Crown could be an insured weapon slot. Totally a possibility. There will also be faction sites within the DMZ maps, which will feature faction ground soldiers, which will be hostile or friendly based on your rep with that specific group. So that's going to be crazy, and again, will change the entire dynamic of how DMZ works and will further that narrative in more ways than we've seen over the last couple of updates. Now, it's honestly super impressive to see how many updates DMZ has gotten over the last couple of months. It clearly is the bread and butter of Warzone 2.0, even though you can argue, oh, Battle Royale and Resurgence will always be more popular. DMZ had a big focus this time around, as if the studio or higher-ups knew that, yeah, the Battle Royale fad could eventually fade out. It could eventually dwindle down a bit to where something new has to kind of come into its place, and we're seeing a rise in popularity for extraction shooters. DMZ is getting better and better every update, so no doubt in my mind that not only will it get multiple updates, maybe even during a year or two, but it will be a mode that returns time and time again over the next couple of years as extraction shooters continue to get popular and as Battle Royale slowly just fade away into the past. I mean, I think Battle Royale will always have a place in the gaming market, but I do think other genres and other game types will take over as the new trend, like we see every decade or so. But something I'll leave you guys with is a big question mark in terms of where DMZ will be left if it doesn't get a second year of support. Let's say Las Almas is the new BR map for Modern Warfare 3. Will that map get Outbreak 2.0 like previously rumored, or will it get DMZ support? If it doesn't get DMZ support, then I wonder, will they just leave all of these maps live in DMZ? You know, Al Mazrah, Ashika, Building 21, Koshai Complex, Vondel, will they leave those maps all in DMZ, but you obviously won't be able to play any more BR on, let's say, Al Mazrah because you have Las Almas? Will that end up happening, or will there still be some occasional updates to DMZ where they keep it up to date with what's going on in Modern Warfare 3, they further the story, they add more gameplay opportunities, more innovation? Lots of questions with how DMZ will be handled in the coming years. I mean, you could even go as far as to thinking what's going to happen with DMZ when Treyarch is in charge again. Will they have their own type of DMZ mode, or will they just have a focus on the zombies, Outbreak, round-based, onslaught, and nothing else? But that is about it. This has been DKdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the impressive DMZ marketing we got earlier today for Season 4? Wasn't expecting much in terms of marketing until next week, but hey, surprises are always great. Let me know how you're feeling down below about the new features, the new map potentially, and everything else we discussed. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.